This is probably one of Adventure Archive's biggest planning blunders yet. Late spring. Things are waking up, flowers are blooming, and everything is green again. It's a perfect time to go on an adventure. This time, our destination was Shenandoah National Park. To go backpacking, just get a free backcountry permit at any of the 10 stations, or have it mailed to you ahead of time.
For this trip, we were planning on hiking onto the Hazel Mountain Trail and looping back around on Sam's Ridge Trail and the White Rocks Trail. You can practice dispersed camping here, spending a night on undisturbed ground. Those prefer that you look for a previously used campsite.
It had been 8 years since we were last here, and we were excited to see more of the park.
We passed by some witch hazel and some parasitic bearcorn, and further down the trail was more of that flora that I'm fond of. This tree is called striped maple, and it gets its name from this beautiful, like, really emerald green bark with these stripes on it. I remember seeing these in Dolly Sods on a separate trip that I took. And this plant with these beautiful radial leaves is called Indian cucumber. And if you were to dig that up and eat the root, it'd be really small, but it'd be this nice refreshing crunch. It's good stuff. There were also some unfurling fern fronds. I was hoping they were the edible ostrich fern, but they lack the characteristic groove in their stem.
We continued down the trail, and we could feel the forest breathing all around us.
Further along, we started to catch glimpses of distant mountains through the breaks in the canopy.
Small rivulets ran through the trail. They cascaded down the mossy rocks, creating a magical feeling often captured in fairy tales.
Before long, dusk was upon us.
It is getting dark. I think we're all gonna get our headlamps out.
This is just like when we came to Shenandoah last time.
We definitely did night hiking the first time.
Yeah.
This entire trail has been on a hill, so I don't see any potential campsite yet.
Did you look at the map and see approximately how far it'd be?
No, there's nothing that'll tell you, like it doesn't tell you where the campsites are on the map at all.
And you said the campsites here are...
Technically you can camp wherever, but they prefer you to camp at ones that have already been used.
Got it.
Well, I remember the same feeling of desolation last time. I think we've had that feeling every time.
Darkness enshrouded the forest, and we still hadn't seen a campsite. Although night hiking is commonplace for us, we were hoping to settle down soon.
We feel like this has to be coming up on a campsite soon. Just kind of has that more open feel, you know?
Yeah, everything's leveled out and there's not a slope on both of our sides now. This is very, very reminiscent of 2008. We were really careful about the rocks and we kept warning each other if there was like rocks and stuff.
The rocks were really slippery. There's a lot of water flowing over the rocks. I remember at one point you fell.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's not too surprising, I guess. There's two blazes here. I'm pretty sure that means we're coming up on the junction where it splits into two trails. We were now on lower ground, and there were streams everywhere. But it seems like no matter where we looked, any flat ground was covered in rocks and shrubs. Robbie insists that there is a campsite across this little stream. And I'm not so sure, but I feel like there would be an actual path. I mean, maybe this is, but it also just doesn't look like anyone's been through here in years. It looks really rocky. Ooh. Well, maybe what we should look for is not just like open spaces, but trails coming off of the main path. Because if I remember, they were pretty secluded, so that might mean there's something. Okay, this has got to be campsite territory. Like, look how flat this is. Of course, we've been saying that for the past 20 minutes and to no avail. Maybe we can find a bear den to cozy up in.
We came across a flat, open area, but it seemed a bit rocky. Workable, but far from ideal.
I say we check a little bit and then come back to here.
We'll have to go further if we're going to eat anyway, so we might as well check.
That's true, yeah. Well, we found
We decided to continue on and look for a better campsite, but that may have been a mistake. We hadn't seen anything.
And now it's starting to rain. I really want to hurry up and get our shelters set up, but this is not looking super promising. Okay, we just found this little offshoot and I think it looks like it's promising. This might be good. This is workable. This plant down here is an edible wild plant called wood betony. Learned that when I was in the Smokies.
We again found a workable campsite close by the stream. In fact, a little bit too close. It was set to rain tonight and we didn't want to get flooded out.
Well, this could be our downfall, but we're again gonna just look ahead a little more for another campsite because that's really close to the water. And if it's supposed to rain, I would rather not get super wet from the ground up. I was literally just asking if we had actually passed this junction yet, and we see a signpost or something. Buck Hollow Trail, Skyline. Oh, this is the first junction. I think we're gonna want to go right. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but that's what I was thinking. We decided to rest at this junction. I scouted a bit ahead and found a good place to camp. There's some decent stuff up there. It's like kind of squishy, leafy ground, not as brushy, not super flat, but definitely workable.
Now it was time to eat. You can't have campfires in this park, but camping stoves, including wood stoves like ours, are permitted.
Andrew found a pretty good place over there. And I brought this brown rice that I'm gonna cook up. I believe the ratio I was taught was 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice.
Well, we brought tinder joints just in case for this fire stove, but there's plenty of tulip poplar in this area. So I'm gonna process this bark down. Thank you, Mike Trong, for this lovely gift. It's the first time I'm gonna use it. All of the wood on the ground was damp, and it was hard to keep a good flame going, even after lighting the tinder. Okay, let's do the tinder joint. Well, that was significantly more easy. See, my excuse is that when you're working with such a small area, you can't collect tons and tons of bark and sticks to work with. You just have this tiny bit to work with. And that's not very conducive to getting a fire going.
Which is why I brought the tinder joints.
Yeah. But damn it, I'm principled.
We kept the stove going enough to cook the rice a decent amount.
Now that's good eating.
Next, Andrew had some dried wild plants to add to the concoction.
I've got wild leeks and cleavers, or gallium apparine.
Oh, you want to put that much in there? Or just try not to destroy the delicate flavors we've cultivated. Have you tried these?
And to top it off, we added some of Robbie's crunchy beef jerky. Now, for the taste test. It's not too bad.
Hits the spot.
All right, big thanks to Meredith McLaughlin. Is that her name?
That is her name.
Big thanks to Meredith McLaughlin for giving us these amazing dried fruits. There's apples, kiwi, banana, strawberry. It's like candy.
When you take out all the water, it's nothing but the sugar.
You're like reducing it.
Yeah, nice job.
Now it was time to hang the food, and I had found the perfect tree.
I wonder if it'll be one of my favorite trees. This is gonna be a bit messy, I think. That's good, right? You think?
You're the knot person, not me.
I think it'll work. Oh, that was definitely high enough. Honestly, that was pretty good for the first time. Oh, almost. Oh. Yeah! Woo! Oh, yes! Wow, that was beautiful. Now, if we were to just hang it like this, it would be right next to the tree, but we're gonna do something that'll let it extend out a little bit. So I'm gonna tie a loop. All you do is fold the rope over and tie a square knot. Okay, now we wanna find a stick that's sturdy. I don't know if this will do. So I gotta use a clove hitch to.
Isn't that just gonna make the bag come way down?
No, don't worry. I got this.
I'm holding it.
Okay, I need some of this. Did I tie that correctly? Now we pull it again. Okay, now we gotta tie it down somewhere. Now, does anyone have a tent stake? Probably should have asked for that sooner. I think, slowly. Woo!
With our food securely hung, we went to check the campsite. It was a bit lumpy, but the ground was nice and soft with a layer of leaf litter.
It was time to get some much-needed rest.
Rain is a reality that we must face. Rain jacket. All right, let's go see how Brian and Andrew are doing.
I kind of keep wondering, like, is this just gonna go on all day? Because I was sleeping and my shoulder was right up against this tent right here. I swear I heard like the leaves like crackling, like something like moved our tent, so my shoulder kind of went like that, and that woke me up, and I was like, I remember you grabbed the bear spray. So I got up, I pulled the bear spray. I just went like this. I was like sitting there holding it on my chest. We reminisced a bit about our last trip and how soaked we got from the rain.
So we were getting wet like the whole night, but this time my tent was like really well set up beforehand, and I was just like, rain all you want. I am invincible.
We took down our food bags. Everything was too soaked for the stove, so I mixed my coffee grounds with some cold water.
I think you do need to use hot water to brew it. And you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a hotel. Like every morning, wake up in a hotel, and it smells just like this. Gritty.
Thanks again to Meredith for giving us these snacks, like these olives, packed loose without the juice. I love olives. Very salty.
Oh! Oh, mama!
I'm not sure I've had an olive before. That was a fresh experience.
We came to an opening with a power line, and this wouldn't be the last man-made structure we saw today.
Well, apparently, we've hit a road.
Interesting.
What? I hope we're going the right way. I haven't been using my compass at all. I hope we're not lost. That would suck. So right from the start, we took the wrong path.
We were supposed to be on Hazel Mountain Trail.
I pointed out that there was 2 different separate directions, and I asked Andrew if,
well, it was gated off, so I was like, why would we go that way? Was there a sign? I didn't even notice a sign. But I mean, this is still a loop.
Yeah, so we can go back on Buck Ridge Trail and then come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Slight change of plans, but it'll work out. At least we found out where we were before it got really bad.
That's good.
About 5 feet into the trail, we had taken a wrong turn. We had hiked up onto Buck Hollow Trail, camping by this junction. Today, we would finish the loop, camping one more night along the way. This is probably one of Adventure Archive's biggest planning blunders yet. Everything always works out. Although we'd made a mistake, we weren't too worried. When traveling, it's often the unexpected snags in your plans that make your journey interesting.
There was a great deal of uphill that carried us closer to the clouds.
At the top, we rested and had some food.
So I got another snack here, courtesy of Meredith McLaughlin.
Guys, it's McLaughlin. Meredith McLaughlin.
Well, I
You
knew.
got it.
Isn't there someone named McLaughlin? There's like a singer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
In the
Whatever.
eyes of an angel.
Got another little snack provided by Meredith McLaughlin. Mitten Munch Trail Bar Blueberry Cobbler. I love blueberry flavored stuff. Dense, chewy. It's actually pretty good.
Let me get a bite of that.
Yeah, it's very blueberry.
I think it's a good trip so far.
From the view of the distant misty hills to the delicate mountain laurel flowers along the trail, everything here had an ethereal beauty.
The continual uphill spurred us to talk about the difference between climbing a mountain and conquering it.
I really don't like where it's like you're trying to conquer something and then you feel a sense of accomplishment. I like the end goal being the process itself.
There's two ways of relating to nature. One is like this sort of I must conquer things attitude, and the other is just being in nature. Being nature in harmony.